Today is the penultimate day of the trust vote debate over the Manipur issue in the Lok Sabha, and it saw a heated face-off between Congress MP Rahul Gandhi and Home Minister Amit Shah. In a speech that lasted almost 2 hours, Shah spoke about the situation in Manipur, the centre's intervention in the state, but also questioned the politics around the violence. He asked the Congress why leaders like Rahul Gandhi insisted on travelling by road to restive areas and why the horrifying May 4 stripping and rape video was released right before the monsoon session of Parliament was to be convened.
ये एक अविश्वास का प्रस्ताव ऐसा है जिसमें प्रधानमंत्री और मंत्रिमंडल के प्रति न जनता को अविश्वास है न सदन को अविश्वास है और ये विश्वास प्रस्ताव लेकर आए। मेरे मन में एक छोटा सा सवाल मेरे मन में तो नहीं आया, कुछ मीडिया के मित्र जो ऊपर बैठे हैं उन्होंने डाल दिया। उन्होंने मुझे पूछा कि अमित भाई ये 4 मई का वीडियो संसद सत्र के 1 दिन पहले ही क्यों आया? किसी के पास वीडियो था तो पुलिस तंत्र को देना चाहिए या नहीं देना चाहिए? उसको सार्वजनिक करना चाहिए क्या? वो महिला सम्मान की तो सोचो। मैं बताना चाहता हूँ इसी घटनाओं का कोई समर्थन नहीं कर सकता। समाज के नाते हमें शर्म आई इस प्रकार की घटनाएं वहां हुई है, इससे कोई इनकार नहीं है, परंतु ये जो घटना हुई है वो शर्मनाक है। उस घटना पर राजनीति करना इससे भी ज्यादा शर्मनाक है।
Now, this came even as Rahul Gandhi today morning led the charge for the Congress and positioned the entire debate as one between nationalism and Break India forces. Remember, the issue of patriotism to stand for India has always been the BJP's calling card. It has been their forte. But today it was Rahul Gandhi who, while speaking on the issue of Manipur, said that this wasn't just a law and order issue. In fact, it was one where Bharat Mata herself had been murdered. Further, he accused the centre of posing as nationalists. He accused the BJP of playing the patriotism card even as their actions. For example, that in Manipur were those of Break India forces. Countering him immediately after was Smriti Irani, who took on each allegation and went on to say that the Congress not only created the problem in Manipur, in the northeast, but has always stood by and encouraged separatist tendencies.
भारत माता को आपने मणिपुर के लोगों के मारा, आपने मणिपुर के लोगों को मारकर भारत की हत्या की है। आप देश द्रोही हो, आप देशभक्त नहीं हो, आप देश प्रेमी नहीं हो, आप देशद्रोही हो। आपने देश की हत्या मणिपुर में की।
भारत माँ की हत्या की बात की और कांग्रेस पार्टी यहाँ पर तालियां बजाती रही। जो भारत की हत्या की बात पर कांग्रेस पार्टी ने ताली पीटी आज इस सदन में, इस बात का संकेत पूरे देश को दिया कि मन में गद्दारी किसकी है। मैं आज हिंदुस्तानी होने के नाते कहती हूं, मणिपुर खंडित नहीं है, विभाजित नहीं है, मेरे देश का अंग है।
मैं मणिपुर गया, हमारे प्रधानमंत्री नहीं गए, आज तक नहीं गए, क्योंकि उनके लिए मणिपुर हिंदुस्तान नहीं है। आज की सच्चाई यह है कि मणिपुर नहीं बचा है। मणिपुर को आपने 2 भाग में कर दिया है, मणिपुर को आपने बांट दिया है।
इन्हीं के अलायंस के एक सदस्य बैठे हैं जिन्होंने तमिलनाडु में कहा कि भारत का मतलब मात्र उत्तर भारत। कांग्रेस पार्टी के एक नेता ने कश्मीर में रेफरेंडम की बात की। अगर हिम्मत है गांधी खानदान में तो इस सदन में और इस देश को बताए कि कश्मीर को देश से हटाने की साजिश में कांग्रेस के उस नेता का वक्तव्य क्यों है। You are not India.
Which brings us to the question, this trust vote is undoubtedly one where the debate is being done to set the tone for the election campaign next year, then have the debates of the last 2 days made it clear? Has the tone and tenor of the Congress's main speaker made it clear that they are positioning, Team India is positioning this election as one where Congress is the nationalist party, Team India is the real nationalist alliance to take on the Modi government and the BJP? Will this attempt really be able to dent the BJP's image by projecting Manipur violence as what they call an anti-national act? And most importantly, who came out on top in today's verbal duel between votaries of Bharat Mata on one side and Break India forces on the other? Let's go across to the panel. Joining us now, Dr. Syed Zafar Islam, national spokesperson BJP, author Rami Desai, Acharya Pramod will be joining us in a bit. Dr. Syed Hafeez, spokesperson of DMK, Dr. Sumanth Raman, political analyst. But my first question is to senior editor at Swaraj, Tushar Gupta. Do you think that the Manipur episode is going to dent the nationalist image of the BJP? Because that seemed to be pretty much the intent and the attempt of the Congress today, where they said, listen, don't look at it only as one state. It's not just about Manipur. This goes against the image of the BJP, calling itself the Patriot Party. Tushar Gupta.
Good evening, Padmaja. Look, no one has been denying that Manipur had a problem of violence for the last few weeks. The Home Minister finally spoke on the floor of the Parliament. It wasn't a discussion that the opposition wanted. The opposition kept running away from it, but nevertheless, the Home Minister touched upon the topic and touched upon it extensively. So now everyone has a very good perspective on what's actually going on the ground. So the entire hysteria and the rumors around the situation in Manipur should rest. Number one, we have a very clear picture from the Home Minister himself, who has been monitoring the situation in Manipur. Now the question about denting the nationalistic image of the BJP for an electoral prospect. Look, people trust the BJP to solve this problem. The Home Minister has not shied away by saying that there is no violence, there is no problem. He's admitted where the faults were. He's explained the cause of it. He's explained the future roadmap also. And people have faith in the BJP to restore peace in Manipur. The Home Minister went as far as requesting the opposition for a resolution and to appeal to both the communities in Manipur to usher peace in the state. The opposition did not care for it. For the last 2 weeks, taxpayers' money has been wasted. The centre has been again and again conceding to the demand of the opposition that let's have a discussion on Manipur. Let's have extensive questioning and answers on Manipur. The opposition did not seem interested. And finally, on the no confidence motion today, the Home Minister spoke about it. So Padmaja, the people have seen, the people have a perspective, and the people will restore their faith in the BJP to get peace in Manipur at the earliest.
Okay, let me bring in Syed Zafar Islam and Acharya Pramod now. आज राहुल गांधी ने साफ-साफ बोला, Dr. Syed Zafar Islam, he said very clearly, आप राष्ट्र प्रेमी नहीं हैं, आप राष्ट्र द्रोही हैं. This is being pegged as the larger debate about who is the real patriot. Team India, INDI is in their name now, they say are the real patriots, और आपको उन्होंने आज राष्ट्रद्रोही बोल दिया. डॉक्टर सैयद जफर इस्लाम.
Padmaja, you have any doubt? The people of India has absolutely no doubt. Because who is the patriot, who is not? Who has compromised on national security, on national issues? Who has sided with foreign powers, and other countries to demoralize the army, to weaken the government? Who has sought support? Whose member of parliament has support from other country to weaken the Indian government, which is being led by the Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji? So everyone knows. I mean, when somebody makes that statement, everybody knows that they are trying to make this statement to divert the attention.
No, but that's the point. That so far you claimed everything was under control. You claimed Balakot. You claimed surgical strikes. Today, Manipur people are asking what happened. Where is that patriotic image? That is the question mark they're putting.
No, those who are asked, though those who are asking, they must also visit the history of the Manipur. They do a back testing and understand how many days there used to be blockade in Manipur, how many days there used to be bandh in Manipur, how many days there used to be violence in Manipur. There's a huge, long history of violence in Manipur. Don't you remember the violence between ethnic violence between Kukis and Nagas, and subsequently many other violence which has erupted in the state of Manipur? But last 9 years, we have made many resolutions. We have solved many issues, outstanding issues. Many people have surrendered, and their arms, and they were part of mainstream. So all these things happened under the leadership of the Honorable Prime Minister. Tell me which Prime Minister has visited 50 times in Northeast? Purely because the Honorable Prime Minister wanted to ensure that the Manipur people of Manipur who have been left out by under the Congress regime, and that evident from the fact that during the ethnic violence of '93, the Minister of Home, Mr. Rajesh Pilot, visited there only for 3.5 hours, while the Minister of Home Affairs, under the leadership of Honorable Prime Minister, camped there for a month.
Okay. Let me take this across to Acharya Pramod Krishnam, because you have made reference to a specific episode. Acharya Pramod Krishnam.
That everybody knows.
Okay. Acharya Pramod Krishnam, you are trying to hit at the image of the BJP. आप कह रहे हैं उन्होंने भारत माता की हत्या कर दी, but to divorce what is happening, divorce history from what is happening in Manipur is only to create hysteria. Can you ignore कि history में क्या हुआ है?
पद्मजा, किसी भी देश में, किसी भी राज्य में अगर हिंसा होती है उसका समर्थन नहीं किया जा सकता है। हिंसा किस लिए हुई, क्यों हुई, इसका एनालिसिस किया जा सकता है। मणिपुर में जो हिंसा हुई है 9 साल से 10 जो सरकार है वो तो इनकी है। कुकीज का वहाँ और जो मैतेई का जो आपस का जो रिश्ता है उसको ये नहीं जानते थे क्या उसको जानने के लिए या इनका इंटेलिजेंस फेलियर नहीं कहा जाएगा कि इतनी बात बढ़ गई और इतना बवाल हो गया, इतनी आग लग गई, और सरकार किसकी है वहाँ भी सरकार आपकी, देश में भी सरकार आपकी। तो इसका ब्लेम, इसका इल्ज़ाम आप विपक्ष को थोड़ी दे सकते हैं, मुझे थोड़ी दे सकते हैं। वहाँ वायलेंस रोकने की जिम्मेदारी किसकी थी? या तो वहाँ की सरकार की या देश की सरकार की। पहली बात तो यह है। दूसरी बात यह है कि राहुल गांधी जी ने आज जो संसद में बोला है, राहुल गांधी ने संसद में जो बोला है, क्या बोला है, ये विषय आज बहुत फैल रहा है। तो मैं ये कहना चाहता हूं कि राहुल गांधी ने क्या बोला, उनके शब्द क्या थे, उनकी संज्ञा क्या थी, सर्वनाम क्या था, व्याकरण कैसा था, कर्म क्या था, कर्ता क्या था, इस पे जाने की जरूरत क्या है? आप उनकी पीड़ा को देखिए। क्या मणिपुर के जो हालात हैं उनसे हम संतुष्टि व्यक्त कर सकते हैं या उनसे हम सहमति व्यक्त कर सकते हैं?
वो बेशक पीड़ादायक है, बट आचार्य जी क्योंकि इतनी बड़ी बात कही गई है कि भारत माता की हत्या हुई है, अगर 11, and it's terrible that we have to do a comparison of murders then and attacks then, but the fact is अगर 1993 में 13 बच्चों को जिंदा जला दिया गया तो क्या तब भी भारत माता की हत्या हुई थी? आज कह देना कि भारत माता की हत्या हो गई है और मणिपुर के 2 टुकड़े हो गए हैं, ये तो इट इज प्लेइंग इनटू द नैरेटिव कि कांग्रेस वांट्स देश के टुकड़े, टू से कि मणिपुर के आज 2 टुकड़े हैं। देयर इज नो वन मणिपुर।
नॉट एट ऑल पद्मजा, कैसी बातें कर रहे हैं? क्या कांग्रेस देश के टुकड़े करना चाहती है? कांग्रेस ने तो पाकिस्तान के 2 टुकड़े करके बांग्लादेश बनाया था। कांग्रेस वो पार्टी है जिसने इस देश की एकता, अखंडता के लिए कितनी बार शहादत दी है। कांग्रेस वो पार्टी है जिसने इंदिरा गांधी की छाती पर गोलियां खाई हैं। कांग्रेस वो पार्टी है जिसने राजीव गांधी के टुकड़े
बट क्या आप इस बात से इत्तेफाक रखते हैं कि आज मणिपुर के 2 टुकड़े हो गए हैं?
शहादत झेली है कांग्रेस,
क्योंकि ये दिस इज अ पार्ट ऑफ पार्लियामेंट्री रिकॉर्ड टू से दैट देयर इज नो वन मणिपुर। मणिपुर के 2 टुकड़े हैं, दीज आर द एग्जैक्ट वर्ड्स। देयर इज नो वन मणिपुर, मणिपुर के 2 टुकड़े हो गए हैं। इट हैज बीन डिवाइडेड।
मैं जवाब देना चाहता हूं। जफर इस्लाम साहब बिल्कुल मेरी बात से सहमत हों या ना हों, लेकिन मैं अपना जवाब देना चाहता हूं। राहुल गांधी जी इतने दुखी हुए हैं मणिपुर जाकर के, वहां के हालात देख के, कि वो अपने इमोशन पर काबू नहीं रख पाए। और अक्सर ऐसा होता है, जब आदमी बहुत ज्यादा दुखी होता है तो अपने शब्दों पर, अल्फाजों पर, अपनी बॉडी लैंग्वेज पे अपना नियंत्रण खो देता है। लेकिन राहुल गांधी जी की नीयत यह नहीं है कि मणिपुर देश से अलग हो गया। राहुल गांधी जी के कहने का तात्पर्य मात्र इतना है कि मणिपुर के अंदर दो समाज में, दो कम्युनिटी में जो खाई है वो इतनी बढ़ गई है कि जो एक दूसरे के साथ रहते थे लोग, वो एक दूसरे की जान के दुश्मन हो गए। तो इसको ठीक करने की जिम्मेदारी आपकी है, क्योंकि सरकार आपकी है, वहां भी और यहां भी। ये सवाल है, ये बड़ा सवाल है, इसका जवाब दें जफर इस्लाम साहब।
Rami Desai, can it be called a divisive tendency or encouraging separatist tendencies when it's only an emotional outburst? And it is true, there is a deep divide between communities.
Good evening, Padmaja. Padmaja, let me say this. If you have been going to the Northeast for as long as I have been going, you would see a clear difference between what it was and what it is today. Now, we can say whatever, this was an emotional outburst or he was very pained by going into Manipur. But the fact of the matter is, anybody who studies the Northeast knows that the word or the provocation towards separatism is completely unacceptable, because this is the same region where the longest running separatist movement under the Congress government took place without any intervention from their point. When we talk about Manipur as well, I've been going to Manipur for over 15 years. There was a point when you couldn't go out on the streets post 4 o'clock in the evening.
Are you saying that what Mr. Gandhi said today
there was not a
will
single
encourage
step that was
separatist
taken?
tendencies? Or it is divisive? Because he's just saying, I am telling you what is happening on the ground.
No, Padmaja, there has to be responsibility when we are talking about complex regions like the Northeast and one of the most complex states in the Northeast like Manipur. You have to be very responsible. You cannot at all say things like, oh, there's a division, oh, there are these separatist tendencies. Of course, there's always been a fringe element, but the changes that have come in Manipur is for everybody to see. The longest blockades happened under the Congress government. 120 days in 2011. Rahul Gandhi never visited then. In the last 6 years, we've seen relative peace. If you have traveled to the Northeast as much as I have before and after this government, you'll know that there hasn't been a single curfew, not a single blockade in the last 6 years. The fact is that roads are open, highways are open. I mean, this was all moving towards a sustained level of peace. Now, to bring back these words, this sort of nomenclature in the parliament, when you know that the country is watching you, I find that incredibly irresponsible. But that also tells me that you have no idea of the history of this region. You have no idea about the isolationist and exclusionary policies of the Congress government towards the Northeast.
Okay.
There is a reason that nobody thought about the Northeast pre-2014. There is a reason there were no flights to Manipur pre-2014. There is a reason that there wasn't single inch of fencing done, and there was massive demographic change in all states in the Northeast pre-2014.
Acharya ji, irresponsible.
देखिए पदमजा, मैं एक बात बहुत साफ तौर से कह देना चाहता हूं कि इस तरह की घटनाओं पर राजनीतिक बयानबाजी नहीं करना चाहिए, और डिबेट अगर हो रही है तो इन द इंटरेस्ट ऑफ नेशन बात करनी चाहिए। कोई भी सरकार, मैं ये नहीं कह रहा हूं कि सरकार ने दंगा करा दिया, मैं ये नहीं कह रहा हूं सरकार लोगों की हत्या कर रही है, लेकिन अफसोस की बात यह है कि हर पॉलिटिकल एनालिसिस जो है वो अपना एक टारगेट फिक्स कर लेता है। अरे भाई, जब 1984 में इंदिरा गांधी का असैसिनेशन हुआ, जब इंदिरा गांधी जी की हत्या हुई, उसके बाद कितने सिख भाइयों के कत्ल किए गए, कितने सिख भाइयों के घर जले, तो बीजेपी आज तक क्या कहती है कि ये कांग्रेस ने कराया, ये सरकार ने कराया। क्या सिखों की हत्या सरकार करा सकती है? और अगर सिखों की हत्या सरकार करा सकती है, तो अगर मैं पॉलिटिकल वेंडेटा के रूप में, पॉलिटिकल स्टेटमेंट देने के रूप में मैं ये कहूं कि मणिपुर में जो हत्याएं हुई,
ये बीजेपी नहीं कह रही है, ये अभी जगदीश टाइटलर के केस में जो सीबीआई ने चार्जशीट दायर की है, उस चार्जशीट में लिखा है, आई विटनेसेस ने बोला है कि जगदीश टाइटलर वहां मौजूद थे और उन्होंने कहा कि अगर तुम कम लोगों को मारोगे देन माय बॉसेस विल नॉट बी हैप्पी। ये चार्जशीट पर लिखा हुआ है, बट लेट्स नॉट गेट इनटू द 84 का दंगा, उस पर हम बहुत बहुत लंबी बहस करेंगे, बिकॉज थैंकफुली दैट केस इज गोइंग टू बी रीइन्वेस्टिगेटेड नाउ।
देखिए, मैं जब 84 का वो राइट्स हुए, वो दंगे हुए, तो मैं उस समय एक कॉलेज में पढ़ता था। मुझे याद है कि राजीव गांधी को प्राइम मिनिस्टर बने हुए एक दिन नहीं बीता था, एक रात बीती थी। अगले दिन प्राइम मिनिस्टर ऑफ इंडिया राजीव गांधी सड़कों पे थे। हैं? तो हम कैसे कह सकते हैं कि राजीव गांधी दंगों से खुश हो रहे थे? ये कैसा सवाल है? ये कैसी बात है? मुझे नहीं लगता कि ऐसा बात ऐसी बात
चार्जशीट के हिसाब से और भी बहुत सारे लोग सड़कों पर थे। सज्जन कुमार भी सड़कों पे थे और जगदीश टाइटलर भी सड़कों पर थे। पर एनीवे 84 की बात अभी नहीं करते।
प्लीज
आपसे सिंपली
पद्मजा, प्लीज 10 सेकंड, गिव मी 10 सेकंड। राजनीतिक दृष्टिकोण से, राजनीतिक तौर से मैं बीजेपी के विरोधी दल के साथ हूं, लेकिन मैं ये नहीं कहूंगा कि मणिपुर में जो हत्याएं हो रही हैं वो सरकार करा रही है। मणिपुर में जो हत्या हो रही है उससे सरकार बड़ी खुश है। मैं इतना वाहियात और इतना बेहुदा स्टेटमेंट नहीं दे सकता हूं, लेकिन उस हत्या को रोकने की जिम्मेदारी सरकार की है, मैं ये कह रहा हूं। इंटेलिजेंस फेलियर सरकार का, मैं ये कह रहा हूं। उन हत्याओं पे जो शर्म हमें आ रही है, मैं ये कह रहा हूं कि सरकार को उसके बारे में सोचना चाहिए, सख्त फैसला लेना चाहिए, वहां के मुख्यमंत्री को हटाना चाहिए या कोई और ऐसा सख्त कदम उठाना चाहिए जिससे ये मैसेज आए। मैं सिर्फ ये कहना चाहता हूं।
Okay, Tushar Gupta, quick response that Dr. Syed Zafar Islam, and I want to open this up. Yes.
You know, the Congress spokesperson, through his sugar-coated words, is trying to hide or trying to cloak the seriousness of Rahul Gandhi's utterances in the parliament today. What he said on the floor of the parliament was a very irresponsible, it was a very naive comment to make, especially when the region is slowly inching towards peace. To say that the divide between the two communities cannot be bridged and it's permanent, it's a very irresponsible comment to make. And as many sugar-coated words Acharya might like to add here, it doesn't absolve Rahul Gandhi of the responsibility of the mindless utterances he made in the parliament today on Manipur.
Dr. Syed Zafar Islam, to keep pointing to 1993, to point out to what happened in the 1970s, whataboutery is not going to solve the problem. It's only trying to palm off the blame. जैसे कि कांग्रेस बार बार कहती है, everything is blamed on Nehru downwards till 2014.
Padmaja, you have to understand the intent, and that is what we are discussing here. When Rahul Gandhi ji goes there, he wants to create friction between the communities. When he makes a statement on the floor of the parliament, he wants to divide the society. What is their true intention? They do not want peace in northeastern region. And had they been really keen to see the peace in that region, they wouldn't have made this kind of statement. They wouldn't have made this kind of approach. They would have discussed the issue. They would have invited. When they were invited to discuss by the ruling bench, they would have discussed it. They would have supported the government because it's an issue which needs to be resolved. But their intention is to ensure that aag mein ghee dalte raho, and that is what the Congress party is doing, and their senior leader like Rahul Gandhi is doing exactly the same what their plan is.
Dr. Sumanth Raman, respond.
Manipur jalta hai to aur jalane ka koshish karo.
Okay, the intent BJP is saying is not peace but to continue the provocation. Dr. Sumanth Raman.
Padmaja, please give me 45 seconds uninterrupted time. Let me ask a few very simple questions. One, let us assume that 2 weeks or 3 weeks into the violence, when it was not coming under control, and when there were charges being leveled against the Chief Minister of the state, the BJP acted. They changed the Chief Minister. Let us forget even President's rule. Just they removed the Chief Minister, they replaced him. 2-3 weeks later, the Prime Minister makes a visit to Manipur, meets both sides, maybe meets people in the relief camps, promises them that peace will be restored at the earliest. Third, increases the presence of paramilitary forces, maybe even calls in the army for maintaining law and order. If this had been done, will we be having this debate today? Will we be having even this no confidence motion being moved in Parliament?
Actually, the third point happened on day 2 itself.
Governance is about perception.
Just to be very clear about the facts, the third point happened on day 2 itself.
One second.
Companies of the army, CRPF was sent in, subsequently Assam Rifles.
One second.
Assam Rifles for all practical purposes reports to the army.
No, in fact, subsequently, Padmaja, for your kind information, a petition was moved before the Supreme Court, where the Supreme Court said we cannot order the army to be deployed. That is for the government of the day to decide. So let's be very clear. Had
About
the
what?
Prime Minister
No, what are we being
visited,
clear
maybe
about?
for even a few hours.
Because 3rd of May, the violence started. 4th of
The
May,
perception, we are-
paramilitary forces were in Manipur.
Yeah.
What is it that we're being clear about here?
Excuse me, the paramilitary forces that were deployed were not able to bring the situation under control for the better part of 2 months. So what is the next step of escalation? The next step of escalation perhaps would have been to bring in a different chief minister. The next step would have been for the Prime Minister to personally get involved, assuage the feelings of both the communities and try to say, let's bring peace on the ground first and to ensure this enhanced security presence. If all these 3 things had been done, where is the question of this no confidence vote is not going to win? Opposition knows it, everybody knows it. They have in a kind of been forced to bring a no confidence motion to elicit a response from the Prime Minister.
No,
So my point is very clear.
what
This
has
should-
become
this is
clear from the
not
tone and tenor
about-
is not just
this
about
is- no,
eliciting
one
a
second. No,
response.
Padmaja, answer
It's
my
about
question.
setting the narrative about what the next few months are going to
No,
be
you
about.
tell me.
It
You
is
tell
going
me.
to be,
You tell me.
look, this
Had
government
the-
cannot
no, no,
handle
one minute,
Manipur,
one minute.
so
Had the
they
Prime Minister
essentially
visited-
are not a
No, you tell
patriotic
me.
government.
Why-
The Congress
No,
party and
forget-
others who
one
are
minute.
speaking for Manipur
minute,
are the
one
real
minute,
patriots.
1 minute.
That is pretty much the narrative setting for the next few
No,
months.
even now, look, in every 1 minute, 1 second, Padmaja. In every situation, when things go out of control beyond a particular point, at least for appearance's sake, somebody will be held responsible. And in this case, up to now, nobody is responsible. I think
Okay,
that
very
is the
quickly, Rami
worrying
Desai
part.
and
It is
Dr.
not-
Syed Zafar Islam.
what would
First you,
have
Rami
happened had
Desai.
Mr. Biren
First you,
Singh
Rami
been
Desai,
elected?
and then Dr. Syed Zafar Islam.
Padmaja, it's very easy to say, oh, you know, this is how it should have been done, this is how it should have been done. Let me remind them that pre-2014, for over 600 days, 8 bodies were not buried by a community under the leadership of Ibobi Singh because of an perceived anti-tribal bill that he had taken out. At that time, did the Prime Minister of the time comment? Did he visit Manipur? You know, these are very complex societies. Tribal communities are complex. There is a way to handle situations like this that are rooted in legacied issues. You know, at this point, what has happened in the Parliament today, the kind of words that have been used, the kind of statements that have been made, not only puts these communities at risk, but puts the national security of this country at risk. I want to ask them a simple question. One of the root causes of this conflict was illegal infiltration. We've seen it happen in every state in the Northeast. Why did they never take the initiative to put 1 inch of fencing in Manipur?
Go on, answer, Dr. Sumanth Raman.
Yeah, can I answer this? Look, again we are getting into the same whataboutery. What did Congress do then? 8 people were killed on that day. 13 people were killed in 1994. What did the government do? How does that help resolve the problem today? That at the most you can
How
say
does
Congress
saying that
does not have
Manipur
the
is
moral
not one
authority to
single
question the
state anymore
government.
help
But
resolve
what
the
about
problem?
the people of this country?
So just out of curiosity, how is saying that
No, I'm
Manipur
not-
isn't one
look,
state anymore going to
Padmaja,
resolve the problem?
Padmaja, you are.
So essentially
I'm
you're saying
sorry.
the state is
I'm
lost
sorry.
to the
I'm
Union of
sorry.
India,
The
and
answers-
that is going to help resolve the problem.
Answers, no, the answers. Sorry, Padmaja, the answers that the government owes are not to the opposition. They are to the people of this country who will ask this question. This is not about what Congress
Exactly.
did every time.
But in the
anybody
course
from
of
the government
asking
side
those
is speaking,
questions,
this
are
is
you
what
not
they
the
did in
least bit
1994.
concerned,
This is
Dr.
what
Syed
happened in
Hafeez,
1978.
of the tenor of the entire debate, where essentially, and that truly I think most people are missing, the underlying tenor was where it was declared today in the Lok Sabha that this state is lost to us. It has ceased to exist as a state.
Padmaja, you need to understand facts are facts. You have to go, you have to see what is happening in the ground. It is reflection of what is in the ground. You cannot sugarcoat it anymore. You have done this for the last 90 days. If you want to seriously address the issue, go address it with facts, not just sit in the castle and see everything is fine. Okay, now the biggest fact that everybody is trying to forget here is the opposition was not ready for discussion. We were ready for discussion under 267. It is a responsibility of the government of the day. Why were they not ready to discuss under 267, which
Sir,
makes
just to be clear, when
makes
you're saying
the
that
parliament,
let's not
makes the
sugarcoat
ruling
facts,
government answerable for the discussion.
Are you saying that it's a fact that
Yes.
Manipur
Let
is
me
now
complete,
split into?
just 30 seconds.
And to suggest otherwise is to sugarcoat reality?
30 seconds, Padmaja.
I just want to be clear on that. Are you saying that the reality is that Manipur is split in two?
See, this is not me who is saying, this is not me, it is the BJP MLAs who are saying, parliamentarians who are saying that there cannot be reconciliation, there is a failure of BJP government to fix the issue. It is not the DMK, it is not Sumanth Raman, it is their very own men. You go read the statement of Mizoram Chief Minister. What is happening in the ground? What are you going to do about it? If you have done the discussion under 267 on day one, there shouldn't have been a no confidence motion.
So instead of trying to resolve the rift, you come into parliament and you say it's a matter of fact that this is done. It's a done deal. Manipur as a state has ceased to exist. It's in two parts today.
What have you done in 90 days? No, what have you done? Enough. Don't twist my word. Don't twist my word. Please listen to me. Don't twist my word. I clearly said you cannot resolve without knowing the facts. You have done this for 90 days. What did you achieve? What did you achieve? There are looting of army. Today, read the Hindu newspaper. Manipur police have filed a case against Assam Rifle. There is a friction between army and the police. What are you going to do about it? You just want to sit in the castle and say all is well.
Okay, by sugarcoating it, you cannot deny the fact that the state police is at odds with the Assam Rifles. Dr. Syed Zafar Islam.
Padmaja, first of all, I want to clear a few doubts he has created. First, that we wanted to have a conversation, discussion or debate on the floor of the parliament. Forget about Rule 267, 160. Please do not disturb. I heard you. Rule 267 or 176. We wanted to have a discussion. We backed it by a letter by the Honourable Home Minister to the LOPs.
Come to the substantive point. We've done enough discussions about Rule 176, etc. Come to the point. Don't sugarcoat reality is what the DMK is saying.
So they didn't want to discuss.
Don't sugarcoat reality.
No. Let me just complete. No, today the debate about which party is patriotic, which party is not, I think it's a debate which has been done to dusted by the people of this great country. They know which party is patriotic and which party has compromised with the interests of the nation, which have not been able to safeguard the interests of the nation. I think this is no debate in the minds of the people. They have reposed time and again confidence in Prime Minister, and they will continue to support the Honourable Prime Minister. You will see the outcome in 2024. So away from that, Mr. C. Raman is making a statement as if he is an expert. This should have been done, that should have been done. What is your credentials to make such kind of a statement?
No, answer the DMK. The DMK is saying that it's a fact of the matter that the looting of armories continues, that arms are in the hands of civilians, that now you have got civilians who have set up checkpoints. That reality cannot be sugarcoated. Answer that. That's what the DMK is saying.
Padmaja, there is a problem. The Honourable Home Minister itself has admitted there is a problem. Problem needs to be resolved, not to be politicized. That is what I say. It's very shameful for political parties who are politicizing it for their political gains. It is not for the people to or the parties to politicize it for their political gains. There is a problem which needs to be resolved. You must come as a responsible political party to support the government, and support the government's initiative to resolve this issue.
Debate, don't politicize. That's what the BJP is saying. They're saying there is a problem. What you're saying is right.
Let me put a pinpoint. Let me put a pinpoint answer. Let me put a pinpoint answer. We have not even only condemned. My Chief Minister, my Talaivar M.K. Stalin has written a letter to the Manipur government assuring 10 crore rupees of relief material. This is the positive politics that the DMK is doing. Are you ready to accept it? If we want to politicize it, we wouldn't be doing, we'll just keep questioning you. We are here at this point of time want to help you by all
This is again a
means.
stunt.
So first you should
This
have
is
a
again a
dialogue.
stunt.
See, 10 representatives from Naga and Zo community
How
were
will you
seeking
have a
appointment
dialogue
from the Home
when you
Minister
are
for
not
this
having a
issue.
dialogue on
He
the
did
floor of
not
the
give the
Parliament?
appointment. At this kind of time, at this kind of a situation, you should have your ears open to every stakeholder who wants a discussion. What made you to not have a discussion for 90 days? Only after the video came out,
Okay.
you went and had a serious
Okay, Tushar
discussion.
Gupta, Acharya
Amit
Pramod
Shah goes
Krishnan.
in
Tushar Gupta,
and
you
then still
first,
we are
Acharya ji then.
confused. Why didn't he make
Padmaja-
a second visit?
You know, Padmaja, look at the hypocrisy of the Congress. Let me break down the hypocrisy of the Congress. For the last fortnight, they were worried that the discussion is not happening on Rule 267, that they wanted an extensive discussion. Today, when they knew that the Home Minister is going to speak on the floor of the Parliament and the issue of Manipur will also be discussed, Rahul Gandhi prioritizes a political meeting over being inside the Parliament. Though only 2 days ago, the Congress told us how important it is for Rahul Gandhi to be reinstated as an MP. Their spokespersons have been taking the divisive agenda that the protest will spread outside Manipur, that the entire region will engulf in some kind of violence. The narrative they have been peddling since the issue has broken out in Manipur has been very worrying. The Home Minister also made one very important point about Rahul Gandhi. He goes to Manipur. The government has made all the security arrangement, yet he refuses to take the chopper to the place he wants to go to. He insists on taking the road, even though it can be a security nightmare. But what he does the next day, he takes the chopper just to create a ruckus on the ground. My worry is that we are told Rahul Gandhi is very worried about the situation in Manipur. He's pained. I want to believe that. But when the discussion on Manipur finally happens, why is Rahul Gandhi, why is Sonia Gandhi, why is Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary not there in the Parliament? Why did Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary walk out when Amit Shah was talking about Manipur? That's the question we need to ask for the Congress.
He came back in
because
subsequently.
They have been just telling that the BJP is running away.
Okay, Acharya ji, respond. Why
He
prioritize?
was not there for a substantial amount of time. The Home Minister said himself.
Okay, why prioritize a political meeting when a discussion was finally happening and the Home Minister was answering? Acharya ji.
पदमजा, बड़ी अजीब बात है कि अगर दंगा कहीं आज हो रहा है, उस पर सवाल किए जाएं, ये दंगा क्यों हो रहा है, ये राइट्स क्यों हो रहा है, ये हिंसा क्यों हो रही है, ये वायलेंस क्यों हो रहा है, ये आग क्यों लग रही है, तो क्या इसका जवाब ये दिया जा सकता है 20 साल पहले भी लगी थी, 40 साल पहले लगी थी, 50 साल पहले लगी थी, आपके यहाँ जब आग लगी तब क्या हो रहा? अरे भाई वो लग गई, उसको बुझा दिया गया है, नहीं बुझा, वो उस समय की बात थी। आज हम कम टू द पॉइंट, आज हम प्रेजेंट सिनेरियो में अगर देश के किसी भाग में अगर आग लग रही है, दंगा हो रहा है, वायलेंस हो रहा है, तो उस पर सवाल नहीं करें क्या? मणिपुर में क्या प्रॉब्लम है, क्या नहीं प्रॉब्लम है, वहां की
I think you are absolutely right.
तय नहीं कर सकते।
Acharya ji, you've taken a very wise
जरूरी है
stance.
सवाल करने के लिए पार्लियामेंट में होना जरूरी है।
हाँ, आप बात बिल्कुल सही कह रहे हैं कि सवाल कीजिए, बट उस सवाल की आड़ में क्या राजनीति की जा रही है? I think that is the concern of people when certain comments are made, when you talk about the status of Manipur right now, that there is a divide which cannot be papered over. That just makes one wonder. I'm just going to leave it at that because this is a very serious and, like Rami Desai said, a very complex issue. Hopefully, now that we have had 2 days and tomorrow is going to be the Prime Minister's address to the no trust vote as well, people are going to go away with answers without the politics. Thanks, gentlemen. Rami Desai for joining.
Journalism is a mission, not just to seek accountability or a fight for justice, but for honesty and integrity. Voicing citizens' concerns and using the truth to demand answers, ensuring that you come first on agenda. Watch News on Agenda with me, Madhav Balakrishnan, weeknights at 10 o'clock only on Times Now.
She asks tough questions like no other journalist.
तमाम तरह के बयान आते हैं तो लोग आजकल अलायंसेस पर बहुत फोकस कर रहे हैं। आपकी अलायंस कैसी? Do you think these issues or the breach on freedom of expression and creative freedoms that are coming are a challenge for people like you?
She takes on the masters of Indian politics like no one else can.
What do you think about the Patna meeting, the opposition unity? अभी के दौर में जो कांग्रेस एक क्रॉसरोड्स पर खड़ी नजर आती है, आपको इसका अंदेशा पहले से था?
Because she speaks for you the way no one else can.
Do you think it's time for the Uniform Civil Code to come in? I mean, it's been 75 years.
Because your voice must be heard, your questions answered, above all else. Frankly Speaking with Navika Kumar.
When news is troubling.
They rented this house right here and 3 days later she was murdered.
When news is for common man.
We are asking you for the Aam Aadmi that why the proper checks and balances were not done, sir.
When news is for nation.
Right now I'm just few meters away from Pakistani post which is acting as launch pads for terrorists.
When news is exclusive.
We are reporting from few miles away from the line of actual control.
We report from ground zero. Times now. Action begins here.
My questions are fearless. My findings based on facts. मैं बात करती हूँ तर्क पर और मुझे तलाश है सिर्फ जवाबों की। जवाब जो हो तथ्यों पर आधारित और हो सच के साथ। Watch me debate the best of the best. The morning news hour.
News should be up to your expectations. News should be reliable. News should be experience-based. News should be balanced. And news should definitely be factual and accurate. I, Madhav Gopalakrishnan, get you the news straight, loaded with facts, because there's nothing more important to me than to get it right. I bring news that you can trust, because Times Now and its viewers expect nothing less. Watch Nation Wants to Know with me, Madhav Gopalakrishnan.
Today was the first time since the restoration of his membership that Rahul Gandhi spoke on the floor of the House. In fact, even as he was speaking on Manipur, an unsavory controversy seems to have overtaken the larger point that he was making. He was accused by the Bharatiya Janata Party of blowing a flying kiss to the members of parliament as he walked out. Remember, he had a political meeting today in Rajasthan. Subsequently, lady MPs of the BJP submitted a complaint to the speaker saying that stringent action should be taken against Mr. Gandhi for making that gesture towards Minister Smriti Irani. There were others who also said that some lewd gestures were made, that some objectionable gestures were made, that the flying kiss purportedly was aimed at the minister herself. Is this controversy, especially remember, since it comes on the back of the last trust vote, where there was much furor over a hug that Rahul Gandhi had given to the Prime Minister, he had winked soon after, and now this allegation of a flying kiss, could it actually overtake the larger push that he is making of being a serious political face of the India alliance? All right, let me go across now to the guests we have. Dr. Syed Zafar Islam continues with us, as does Acharya Pramod Krishnam. Acharya ji, why a flying kiss? मणिपुर ट्रस्ट वोट का फ्लाइंग किस से क्या लेना देना? आचार्य जी, फ्लाइंग किस का क्या लेना देना है मणिपुर से या ट्रस्ट वोट से या किसी भी चीज से?
पद्मजा, पहली बात तो यह है कि वो मैंने नहीं देखी वो फ्लाइंग किस करते हुए। मैं अपने दाढ़ी पे हाथ रख रहा हूँ, होठों पे हाथ रख रहा हूँ, मैं ऐसे बैठा हूँ, इसको कोई फ्लाइंग किस मान ले तो ये भी मेरा गुनाह बन जाएगा। लेकिन मैं इस विषय को थोड़ा सा गंभीरता की दिशा में ले जाना चाहता हूं कि राहुल गांधी कितना मिनट बोले। जफर इस्लाम साहब बताएंगे, इन्होंने नोट किया होगा। राहुल गांधी जितना टाइम बोले, जितने मिनट बोले, आधा घंटा से ज़्यादा राहुल गांधी बोले। उस आधा घंटा से ज़्यादा जो राहुल गांधी बोले उसमें से सिर्फ इन्हें उनका 1 सेकंड का ये एक घटना जो इन्हें दिखाई दी, ये नजर आया। उनका दर्द नहीं सुनाई दिया, उनकी पीड़ा नहीं दिखाई दी। उन्होंने मणिपुर की बात की, उन्होंने किसानों की बात की, उन्होंने देश की इंटीग्रेशन की बात की, उन्होंने और तमाम तरह के मुद्दे उठाए, वो नहीं दिखाई दिया, वो सुनाई नहीं दिया। मैं जफर इस्लाम साहब से ये गंभीरता से एक सवाल करना चाहता हूं कि फ्लाइंग किस किया, नहीं किया, किया तो क्यों किया, कैसे किया, किसके सामने किया, किसको किया, पार्लियामेंट को किया, पार्लियामेंट के अंदर मेंबर जो बैठे थे उनको किया, महिला सांसदों को किया या चेयर को किया। अभी स्मृति ईरानी जी ने जो विषय उठाया है, जो उन्होंने अपनी स्पीच में बोला, उन्होंने साफ साफ बोला कि राहुल गांधी जी ने फ्लाइंग किस जैसी एक हरकत की है पार्लियामेंट के लिए। और जो कंप्लेंट दी गई है महिला सांसदों की तरफ से, उसमें कहा गया कि उन्होंने स्मृति ईरानी जी की तरफ फ्लाइंग किस किया। तो पहले तो यही कॉन्ट्रडिक्शन है, इसको क्लैरिफाई करना चाहिए देश के सामने। दूसरी बात यह है, वो फ्लाइंग किस किया है,
a way to sort of distract people. Syed Zafar Islam.
देखिए,
सिंपल क्वेश्चन टू जफर इस्लाम साहब।
Padmaja, every member of parliament has to maintain certain decorums. पार्लियामेंट का एक डेकोरम होता है, उसको फॉलो करना चाहिए। आप देखिए, कभी विंग करते हैं, कभी अचानक हक कर लेते हैं, कभी फ्लाइंग किस कर लेते हैं। ये डेकोरम किसको मेंटेन करना है? आप क्या बात करते हैं, कैसा आपका कॉन्डक्ट होता है, किस तरह का, वो पार्लियामेंट्री तौर तरीके से सही होना चाहिए। जब आप इस तरह के कॉन्डक्ट आप पे कहीं कभी देखी जाती है तो लोग उस पे बातें करते हैं। और खासकर फ्लाइंग किस अगर आप करते हैं विमेन पार्लियामेंटेरियन को, तो ये बिल्कुल चिंताजनक भी है और आपत्तिजनक भी बातें हैं। दोनों बातें हैं कि क्या वो मान मर्यादा भूल गए हैं या महिलाओं की इज्जत करना भूल गए हैं। तो इसलिए ये बातें जो है आचार्य जी को भी समझनी चाहिए, ये बातें कांग्रेस के एमपीज को भी समझनी चाहिए, कांग्रेस की लीडरशिप को भी समझनी चाहिए कि पार्लियामेंट में एक डेकोरम होता है। आप प्राइवेटली क्या करते हैं उसके बारे में तो हम चिंता नहीं कर रहे हैं। हमने कहा कि आप अपने घर में क्या कर रहे हैं, हमने नहीं कहा ना। लेकिन फ्लोर ऑफ द पार्लियामेंट में तो आपको
हल्की हरकत है, ये बीजेपी बोल रही है, क्योंकि पहले हग हुआ है, विंक हुआ है, एंड टुडे एज फार एज वेदर देयर वाज एनी सच एक्शन और नॉट, आई एक्चुअली वांट टू प्ले आउट व्हाट मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट ऑफ द शिव सेना यूबीटी हैड टू से। शी प्रीटी मच कंफर्म, शी सेड कि मैं विजिटर्स गैलरी में बैठी थी, मैंने देखा ऐसा हुआ है। लेट्स लिसन टू व्हाट शी सेड।
जी, मैं विजिटर्स गैलरी में थी, हमने देखा एज अ जेस्चर ऑफ व्हेन ही वाज लीविंग, उन्होंने एज अ जेस्चर ऑफ अफेक्शन किया और कुछ नहीं किया।
नहीं, लेकिन इससे तो सत्ता पक्ष की महिला सांसद नाराज होगी ना, उन्होंने शिकायत कर दी से लेकर।
उन्होंने क्या ये कह क्या सिर्फ महिलाओं को दे रहा हूँ, ये क्या बात हुई? उनको किस बात का दुख हो रहा है? जस्ट अ जेन्युइन जेस्चर। जैसे कहा मोहब्बत की दुकान है, आप लोग को नफरत से आदत हो गई है कि मोहब्बत एक्सेप्ट नहीं कर पा रहे।
प्रियंका चतुर्वेदी तो मान रही हैं आचार्य जी कि जेस्चर ऑफ लव उन्होंने किया।
पद्मजा, अगर प्रियंका जी मान रही हैं तो ये प्रियंका जी का मानना है, मैं ऐसा मानूं ये कोई ज़रूरी तो नहीं। मैं जफर इस्लाम साहब की बात से बिल्कुल सहमत हूं कि पार्लियामेंट की एक मर्यादा होनी चाहिए, पार्लियामेंट की गरिमा होनी चाहिए। और जफर इस्लाम साहब को राहुल गांधी जी के द्वारा जो फ्लाइंग किस जैसा कुछ हुआ वो बड़ा बुरा लगा। लेकिन मैं जफर इस्लाम साहब से पूछना चाहता हूं कि राहुल गांधी जी इस देश की संसद में 2004 से हैं, यानी कि लगभग 20 साल से हैं, और पॉलिटिक्स में भी 20 साल से हैं। 20 साल में राहुल गांधी जी के द्वारा किया गया कोई काम ऐसा है जो जफर इस्लाम साहब की पार्टी को अच्छा लगा हो? राहुल गांधी साहब,
आप अगर कह रहे हैं कि संसद की मर्यादा होती है, तो क्या ये अमर्यादित कार्य है कि नहीं?
केदारनाथ गए तभी ना प्रॉब्लम हुई।
क्या ये अमर्यादित है या फिर आपको लगता है कि दिस जस्ट कैजुअल?
मैं इसका जवाब देता हूँ।
इसका फैसला कौन करेगा? या तो लोकसभा अध्यक्ष करेंगे, लोकसभा स्पीकर करेंगे।
ठीक है, स्पीकर फैसला करेंगे,
स्पीकर करेंगे, महिला सांसद करेंगी। मैं तो पार्लियामेंट में था नहीं, आप तो पार्लियामेंट में है नहीं, आप तो वहां के विजुअल्स देख रहे हैं, फोटो देख रहे हैं। अब मैं ऐसे करके बैठूं और मैं एकदम से यूं कर दूं तो क्या इसे फ्लाइंग किस मान लिया जाएगा? मैं ऐसे बैठा हूं बहुत देर से, आपके चैनल पे पूरी दुनिया देख रही है और यू आर सीनियर मोस्ट एंकर, मैं ऐसे बैठा हूं, अब मैं एकदम यूं हाथ कर दूं तो क्या इसको फ्लाइंग किस समझा जाए? एनीवे, फिर भी
आई रियली डोंट नो, आई एम नो एक्सपर्ट ऑन दैट इशू।
इसका फैसला कौन करेगा?
ओके, इसका फैसला कौन करेगा? सैयद जफर इस्लाम।
एक जवाब देता हूं। देखिए, इसका फैसला तो चेयर ही करेगा। लोकसभा के चेयर जो है वही इसका डिसीजन लेंगे। लेकिन हकीकत यह है कि जब राहुल गांधी जी के बारे में ये कह रहे हैं आचार्य जी, तो 2004 से 20 सालों तक है, बट वो पार्लियामेंट में रहते कहां थे? उनका पार्टिसिपेशन लेवल क्या था? वो बिल्कुल चुपचाप बैठे या तो नहीं आते थे पार्लियामेंट। तो आप उसके बारे में अच्छी और बुरी बातें क्या देखेंगे? आज वो एक्टिव है और एक्टिव होकर गलत काम कुछ करेंगे तो उसके बारे में चर्चा होगी। उनको लग लगा कि गलत हुआ है तो वो उन चेयर के पास गए.
Okay, let it be decided by the chair. If indeed there is video evidence, the chair will eventually take a call. And like even Acharya Ji said, there is a certain dignity of the House. I'm sure nobody will have an issue when eventually a decision is taken on that to maintain the dignity of the House. I'll leave it at that. Thanks very much, both gentlemen. Remember, tomorrow is going to be the reply to the trust vote by the Prime Minister. Since tomorrow morning, we'll be live and on that big story. Stay tuned to Times Now.